Dolphins never, ever disappoint. And you were telling me the other day that our dolphin experience back in our first ever visit to the Bahamas was like transformative for you.
Yeah.
With this whole cruising thing.
Oh, yeah. I wanted to study dolphins as like a career.
Yeah. We were here in the Bahamas for a weather conference back in, I think, 2000 or 2001.
Yeah, 2000.
Something like
20
that.
20 years ago.
We had never been to the Bahamas, and it's a long story that we'll talk about in the podcast. It's actually a really good story, so tune in for it. But we somehow get to this weather conference and end up going out in this little boat to dive with dolphins. And these dolphins were free to roam about.
So the dolphins actually were part of an open sanctuary, which is one of the few in the world. They were rescued dolphins. But like Nick said, they could go out, they would follow the boat out with fish, and they knew all these tricks because they had learned them, and we got to play with the dolphins at 50 feet.
They were really, really big dolphin. But I'll tell you, when they grabbed, your arm and spun you around, it was like, it was an immense amount of power.
Yeah.
So that was really cool. And the dolphins, every time we've had a dolphin experience, it really just lifts me up.
Yeah.
For sure.
So we were killing time playing cards, and we caught out of the corner of our eye this shooting torpedo next to the boat.
Yeah.
We thought it was a shark.
It was doing like 15, maybe even 20 knots underwater. It was just darting back and forth. It was obviously, it was fishing.
Yeah.
We've never seen a shark move that fast, although I'm sure they can.
Yeah. Yeah, so anyway, Nick immediately jumped in the water, and then he started tapping on the hull with the GoPro on the prop. And sure enough, this dolphin came from probably 200 feet away.
Yeah, it just was like, hey,
Curious.
what are you doing? Making all this racket.
So cool. So that was our highlight of the week by far.
Nice to have a visitor during this quarantine lockdown. So what have we been doing to not lose our minds as we are isolated to the boat into this anchorage? I think officially we're not even supposed to go to shore or anything, except if we need groceries.
More trash.
Kind of an interesting detail people might be interested in. Well, here's Daniel Key. The grocery stores are known by their colors. There's the pink store and the blue store. So cruisers will say, hey, the blue one's in good shape. Or the pink one's in good shape. Go see that one. Which store did you choose?
I chose the blue store, but we are in popcorn business.
It was very exciting.
What's funny is the woman at the store didn't even wear a mask. It's just for us outsiders.
There's no incidences in the family islands, the little islands that aren't very populated at all. So some of these lockdown measures, some folks are saying are a little much. They're a little overkill. So the locals, they're using their own best judgment. The cruising community is normally a lot of fun. It's great to meet folks and hang out with other boats and learn about their histories and travels. There's almost none of that going on. By and large, neighbors are not hanging out. So we're getting to know each other a little bit better, if that's possible. We've been together
almost 28 years.
Yeah.
We've known each other for, 34?
Megan came up with kind of a fun little game idea to test whether or not we know each other as well as we think we do.
So the game's called Which One of You? And then we add all kinds of questions on the end of that. And
Kind of like a little dating game.
And see if we agree on the reality that we are sharing.
Oh, hello.
Which one of you comes up with the best video ideas? Which one of you swears the most? Which one of you spends the most time on social media? Which one of you is a better swimmer? Which one of you can hold their breath longer? Which one of you is the first to admit when you're wrong? Which one of you responds to more of the YouTube comments? Which one of you takes out the trash more? Which one of you is most likely to talk their way out of a speeding ticket? Which one of you is more likely to be late? Which one of you is more competitive? Which one of you would last the longest on a desert island? Which one of you is the most likely to get arrested? Which one of you is the bigger risk taker? Which one of you was naughtier as a kid? Which one of you is the funniest?
Oh, I can't wait to
I
see
know. And
the tally here.
Can you think of some more? Which one of us delivers coffee to the other one more often?
Which one of us is more organized?
Which one of us works out more? Which one of us meditates more? Which one of us is more outgoing? Okay, I got one. Which one of us makes up stupid songs more often?
Which one of us is more creative? Which one of us has a bigger sweet tooth?
Which one of us is more disciplined?
Which one of us would be a better employee?
I think that's enough. Now we got some other questions that we
Ooh.
can both answer.
Do we still need a curtain?
We don't.
Oh, okay. So did the viewers come up with these questions, or did we come up with these questions?
Clarice actually did say she wanted some story time. So
Thank you, Clarice.
Yes, thank you. That you did spur that little thought.
So get to know us a little bit better and our experiences. So gather around the fire, or wait, it's almost summer. Gather around the air conditioner,
Oh, it's hot.
relax, and here's story time.
Okay. Nick, what is your favorite cruising moment?
Oh, the favorite.
Of
I have
all
not,
time.
I have not seen these
Okay,
questions.
Of all time.
Of all time, oh, there's just been so many. The ones that jump out to me have been the sea life encounters, like the dolphin the other day. We've had other experiences. Last year, we swam with a dolphin around the boat for almost 3 hours. Just a single dolphin. We'd follow him or her, and then we'd turn around and he or she would follow us, and it just went on and on and on. That is a standout moment. Years and years ago, on the first cruise, our first cruise didn't go as planned. We were going to the South Pacific, but a couple things happened. The boat started breaking in a lot of ways, just a lot of boat problems, and we realized we were not ready. We should not go to the South Pacific. And we're heading up into the Sea of Cortez, and I hear this weird sound, and go down, and the transmission has got this big pink foam all over it, and the oil cooler, the transmission oil cooler had failed, and seawater was getting into the transmission. So the oil mixing with the water, that's why it was a pink foam. So I'm just like at my wit's end. I'm like, and there's hardly any wind.
You were so bummed that we weren't sailing across the Pacific. I mean, this was a multi-year plan.
A lot of money had been spent.
You were already bummed.
So this was one of those moments where you're just like, oh my God, this is just ridiculous. I am so done with this whole bleeping thing. Mm-hmm. And you were topside, mm-hmm. and we both, I think, heard this big
view?
Wow. It had never happened before. It has never happened since. But a pod of, do we know what they were? Finback or humpback whales? 35, 40-foot whales, at least 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 of them.
I feel like I saw his eye.
Woohoo!
Right there.
Whoa. Whoa! Woo! Holy shit. They're like totally riding our bow.
What are they doing?
Woohoo! They're guiding us, Megan, because they know we have a problem.
See if they're coming up again.
Right up in front?
See it?
Woohoo! This is wild, dude. Woohoo!
Here's another one.
Woo! Yeah! Yeah! Woo! Damn, they're big.
I can't believe that.
They're just playing with us.
I know.
But they were doing what dolphins typically do, where the dolphins will come up along the bow and just kind of surface and go underneath.
It's like they were saying, "Hey, you're one of us.
Yeah.
No motor. You're just like, yeah, we'll swim with you."
And at this time, I'm like, I don't know how we're going to get to a safe port. We're in Baja. There are no big towns around. There's nothing. There's a couple remote fishing villages. How are we even going to get to an anchorage? There's hardly any wind. We don't have an engine. And these whales just took
Our minds off
Our
it.
minds
yeah,
off
and invigorated us for cruising. Like
Yeah.
really injected us with this. Oh yeah, this is why we're here.
It was really incredible.
And then amazingly, we ended up in Evaristo, and they had a tiny little store with a few provisions and tons of transmission fluid. Right?
And one of the few important spares that I actually brought on the boat was an oil cooler. So that got replaced. We were able to flush out the seawater. Everything ended up being a-okay. But do you have a particular moment, particular standout experience that rises above all the rest? I've got like hundreds in my mind.
Yeah, I do think that last year swimming with that dolphin around our boat, where I was, I actually touched its little fin. It did not like that, but it didn't scare it off. But cruising wise, the whales is for sure at the top of the list. And just, seeing up close and personal that these amazing creatures are curious and friendly and just, right there with us. Okay, so opposite end of the spectrum there is, what is your worst cruising moment?
Worst cruising moment?
Worst ever.
It's got to be one particular second in time.
Yes.
For me, it's the storm. It's a video story that you can find on this channel, but the storm was probably the low point. The storm was a low point for so many reasons. I mean, first of all, I'm a meteorologist, and I'm caught in a storm. I should have been able to avoid this, and if you listen to the story, you'll see how I really should have avoided it. It was extremely just a violent experience. Fearing for your life is something that's etched into my brain. But that's probably my low point. We'll put the link
Yeah, you
in
should
the
go listen
description
to it.
and go listen. Don't listen to it as you're going to bed at night.
No.
This is not something that's ever happened to us since, so it was kind of a freak occurrence.
And it's a bad story, good ending.
Yeah,
So we
obviously survived.
Triumphed, and we learned a lot from it. So
How about you? What's your low
my
point?
worst moment, I would say it was the end of that first cruise where after we had the whale experience and we were coming back into shore into San Carlos for the end of the season. It was bloody hot. It was the end of this very difficult time with not going across the Pacific, not knowing what we were going to do. We didn't have a plan. We thought we were on a 5-year cruise. And we were tied to a mooring, and I was in the galley making coffee. and I hear this, hello, hello, is anyone there? And I thought, oh, someone's in a dinghy right outside our boat. So I pop up and I look, and we are literally 10 feet from shore, from huge boulders. These men are standing on land.
Just a few feet from the bow.
Yeah. And I screamed bloody murder. No! You must have thought somebody was there with guns or something.
After crossing the Sea of Cortez, I was like still kind of blurry-eyed. I mean, we just crossed a bunch of open water, and now you're screaming about something.
I don't think you'd had coffee yet.
So I do this backflip out of the bunk, and I had recurring back issues. I'll skip to the chase, but as I did the backflip out of the bunk, I ruptured a disc in my back. If you've ever experienced this, you know what I'm talking about. Paralyzing pain. I still have numbness down my leg. And I scramble up through the companionway, and somehow, miraculously, our keel had come to rest in soft sand before the bow had reached these rocks. It also helped that it was a very calm morning. This is a very windy spot.
Yeah.
This could have turned out much, much worse.
In the middle of the night.
But
I mean...
now I'm incapacitated, and we need to put the boat away for hurricane season, which means stripping off everything topside, getting ready to put it up on the hard. That was all up to you.
And so, just to rewind a little bit, how did that happen? Well, I tied the mooring line onto the cleat up front, and I obviously did not do a locking hitch. So, big lesson learned there. Take full responsibility. And so my punishment was to put the boat away in 100-degree heat with 98% humidity.
I wouldn't say it was punishment. There was literally no other choice in the matter.
Yeah, you were laid up.
Completely incapacitated.
I feel like you were editing videos even back then.
That's probably about all I could do.
Okay.
I tried to interview you.
I would like to get your comments.
You just turn this off because knowing you put it into a video. And the rest of the world will see it. At my worst moment.
I'm saving all the good stuff
Oh, yeah?
for a future day in court.
So, another question is, what is the best way to reduce stress on a boat?
The best way to reduce stress, I would say, is exercise and meditation.
I agree.
Which is probably one of the reasons why this lockdown has been extra challenging. Just getting enough physical movement has been difficult.
Yeah, thankfully we've been able to swim. I've been doing yoga every morning. That's been really good. And Nick's teaching me how to do his Wim Hof breathing. And that is really helpful.
It's relaxing.
Okay, how has YouTube changed our cruising life?
YouTube has changed our cruising life immensely. I've been making videos and casually uploading them for years, really. But just the idea of just sending them off to family and saying, this is what we're doing. But the YouTube channel that you see now is really only about a year old. This regularly making videos on a schedule, interacting with you, it's all very new. It's changed things in two ways. First of all, this isn't a negative, but this consumes a lot of our time and a lot of our energy. Each one of these videos probably takes on the order of 20-something hours to put together.
Yeah.
And I know we're not unique there. Most of these channels, it just takes a while.
I'd say 20 to 30 sometimes, yeah.
And we always have a camera at hand. You never know when the magic's going to happen. So we have got this new task on board. That's really changed things. The other way it's changed our cruising is that I now feel like we have a purpose.
Yeah.
And one thing that you don't really think is you don't know is gonna come your way when you head off cruising is, if you've been working really hard and managing a household and managing the kids and all that stuff, when you head off cruising and you have all this time on your hands, you'll look around a little bit going, okay, what's my purpose here? I mean, it's fun, it's awesome, great. You have all your time, but you feel something is missing.
Yeah, I would say in the beginning you're just trying to learn the lifestyle, so you're very occupied with that, and that takes years.
Yeah.
So, but having this this community that we're interacting with on a regular basis, I mean, it means that we're back to having a schedule of some sort, which cruising you don't tend to have one.
It's really, really been fantastic to feel like we're a part of a community, feel like we're contributing to our little corner of the world in some way. And so the YouTube has been immensely positive for our cruising.
Yeah. Hearing from you all that what we're saying and our experience is valuable is just like this huge bonus. Like, wow, that feels so good. Like, we want to be helpful.
We love having you guys.
Recommend the YouTube channel.
Do a YouTube channel for no other reason than to develop a community.
Yeah. Okay, so what are our strategies for living 24/7 together in a small space?
It comes down to gratitude.
Yeah.
Appreciating everything, you're making me this coffee this morning, and to acknowledge that and really say, I really appreciate that. Thank you for doing this. I'd say that's the number one strategy.
I think one thing I've also noticed is if we start our day separately, just waking up on our own, doing what we need to do to kind of orient in the world, making ourselves a priority. And for me, that's anything from journaling to doing yoga to surfing the web to responding to people and just feeling like, okay, we've got this separate little space. Like, don't mess with me. And I've noticed that, this was discovered.
Don't mess with her.
Discovered by accident. I recommend to people, like, wake up and gather yourself first.
A little alone time is good.
Yeah, that's a good strategy.
In general, cutting the other slack over little things. There is no room on a boat to nitpick each other about little teeny tiny little things. It just, you gotta just let stuff go. If I don't, don't make a big deal. Honey, you put the sunscreen and the blah 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 again? Come on, that just.
It's funny because you have to think about, like, what's your humor level, and if it's, hey, I'm just giving you crap.
Yeah.
I don't know. We've decided that's not funny anymore.
Yeah.
And on a boat where, what's most important is being calm and appreciative and just easygoing. That, somebody who's like, yeah, you didn't do this again. It can turn into a real, like, hey, you got a negative attitude. Why are you giving me some, bad vibes?
Humor. Humor has got to be maybe number one next to gratitude. Is you gotta laugh about. Let's just call a spade a spade. Living on a boat, bouncing around a little ocean, it's kind of nonsensical. It's kind of silly in and of itself. So having some humor when things aren't going particularly well, I think that's important.
I got an add-on to the humor is you got to be able to laugh at yourself, right? Because
don't take yourself too seriously.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's a good one. We have a big announcement.
May not be that big a deal to you, but it's a big deal to us because we've debated this for a long, long time. We have decided to do Patreon. We really, really appreciate the contributions that have come through sailclarity.com. We've got a tip jar there where folks can log in, give us a contribution through PayPal. But many folks have said, why aren't you on Patreon? It's so much easier that way.
Yes, please be on Patreon so I can just do a small regular contribution.
I don't have to think about it so much.
Yeah.
And so we've decided to go ahead and do that. I think there were a few stumbling blocks for us, but one of the most important was that we didn't really know much about Patreon. So we've investigated and we figured it out, and we've got different tiers and levels, and it'll continue to evolve.
But the truth is, we want to continue being here for you all. And as you know, our story is we work hard, play hard. So
over the years, we have worked saved, invested, traded, and then cashed it in to buy a boat or an RV, and then headed out and, well, run low on money, sell the boat, sell the RV, and go back to work. And then say, you get it. We just kind of rinse and repeat.
Yeah.
This time around, especially in light of the community that's developed around us and these videos and the symbiosis that I think we're feeling here, we'd love to just continue on with the sailing and making videos and all that.
We'd love to actually be out here when you guys get out here in a couple of years.
Yeah, absolutely. So any contributions made in that vein really help continue to extend the runway for us, so we can continue doing this. And we, of course, appreciate it immensely.
Yes, so thank you. If you want to do that, head over to Patreon, The O'Kellys.
We want to give a first name shout out to those of you who contributed in the last week. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Coleman.
Darren, way to go. Thanks, man.
Paula, thank you.
Joe,
Patrick.
Marcy and Steve, you guys are sweet.
Thank you. Thank you, Danielle.
Daniel and Robert C., you guys are awesome.
Thank you so much, Brooke.
Ashley and Scott, thank you guys.
Thank you, Mark.
Scott and Lori, thanks, guys.
Thank you, Scott and Lori. Don, thank you so much.
Yeah. Thanks, Don.
Robert D, thank you.
Jess, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Brendan. We really appreciate it.
And Russell, thank you guys.
We're going to do our best to continue doing what we've been doing, and that means interacting with all of you and responding to all the comments and questions. So we're going to try to not change that at all.
No, because we love that.
We love it. We love you guys.
Yes, thank you.
Wherever you are, we sincerely hope for the best for you, for health and safety and sanity, that we all recover from this as quick as we can.
Share some of your tips on how you're dealing with this pandemic isolation.
We want to hear from you.
Yeah.
Take care, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye.